What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today it is Viewer Builds episode 35, part 2. We had so many builds that I needed to do it in 2 videos. I even got more submissions in overnight. You guys snuck those in there. I will get them in there, but yeah, this one took a little bit between the 2 days. So the theme was any gun, and I want to show you guys a gun you haven't seen yet. This is an M1A that you guys are going to see on the channel soon. I am going to shoot it for the first time tomorrow, and I'm excited. So it's an M1A with some Sadlac upgrades. It's got the extended mag release. It's got the airborne rail mount. It's got the little pick rail right here. And then I'm running an Aimpoint 9000 on it. It looks like the old school 3000 or 5000. But this is my Sugar M1A clone. So Black Hawk Down M1A clone that I am working on. Still got to paint it, but this is where we're at so far. So any gun, that was the theme. This is any gun. And yeah, we got an insane amount of builds, which is awesome. Next week's theme is going to be subguns / PCC. Get your submissions in early. I get a lot of emails saying, oh, I missed this one. Can I get it in? And it's like the day after, but you guys have a week notice. So try to get it in ahead of time, guys. It makes my life easier getting the video uploaded and recorded a little bit earlier. So yeah, PCC, subguns, that's the theme. Describe your build from tip to butt. No vertical pictures. Please do a horizontal picture on a plain background. And yeah. Again, we got a lot of submissions. I read every email, so I want to thank you guys all for the kind words. Even if I don't talk about it in the video, I do read all the emails. Other than that, I know there was a lot of people that missed the SPR build video, so we got a lot of SPR builds between today and yesterday, so I did read all that in the email as well. But yeah, don't miss out on the subgun build, guys. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's viewer builds as well. It's basically like its own video, but yeah, it's just continuation of yesterday, so enjoy. All right, guys, kicking off today's continuation of the viewer build video, we have this one from Michael, and it looks pretty sweet. I'm going to go through his list here. It's got a YHM R9 suppressor with the YHM QD flash hider. It's got the Ballistic Advantage 16-inch barrel, an Arrow adjustable gas block, a Magpul bipod. It's got the Cloud Defensive Rain 2.0 with a 100 Concepts cover. It's got a BCM quad rail and rail covers, a BCM foregrip, an Arrow Precision Complete upper, a Radian Raptor charging handle, a Toolcraft nickel boron bolt carrier group, an Aimpoint Duty RDS on a Scalarworks mount with a kill flash. It's got the EOTech G45 magnifier on a Unity flip to center mount. It's got a Matrix Arms 80% lower, a BCM Mod O grip, a CMC 2-stage flat trigger, a BCM trigger guard, a Strike Industries 60-degree safety, a B5 SOP mod stock, and a Blue Force gear sling. And then it looks like he also has it spray painted, but yeah, that looks really good. I like the way you have it set up. Thank you for sharing that one, Michael. All right, next up we have a couple here from Ian, and I'm going to go through the first one. So this one is still new. I'm still playing around with the setup. It's a Maxim Defense PDX SD pistol in 300 blackout. It comes with a Radian Raptor charging handle and their safety. It's got the dye-free Kung Fu grip, a Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun trigger, a Holosun DSR thermal, Magpul rail covers, a Surefire dual fuel turbo mini scout light, a 100 Concepts ruggedized light cap cover, a Surefire pressure switch, a T-Rex arm sling keeper, a Savvy sniper quad sling in black multicam, and then a burn-proof gear suppressor cover is on order. I had to custom order one for the SD since it's a different suppressor. Nice. You didn't mention a suppressor. Is it just their suppressor or is it not suppressed yet? But SD normally means it's suppressed, but it looks really good. And if it's starting to black out, but it's pretty quiet suppressed. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Ian. And then we'll move on to his next one here. Second is my go-to rifle. It's an LWRC A5 14.5-inch barrel with a Surefire Warcomp pin and welded on there. It's got a Surefire SOCOM 556 RC2 suppressor, a burn-proof gear suppressor cover, a Surefire scout light with a vampire head. It's got the 100 Concepts ruggedized light cap cover, a Surefire pressure switch, an LWRC rail cover and hand stop, LWRC flip-up iron sights. It's got the Trijicon MRO HD with the magnifier. It's got a Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun trigger, a Magpul STR stock, a Haley Strategic D3 sling and multicam, a T-Rex arm sling keeper, and then IR laser and NVS are in the works to complete this setup. I would love to know what you think. Yeah, that's a sick setup, especially if you're going to set it up for night vision. So it's the MRO HD, that would be nice. For night vision, you might want it on a riser. The only passive shooting I do through night vision is I have an EOTech EXPS3 on a Unity riser for myself, and I do like it passive aiming. The Surefire Vampire lights are nice. I have one. I have had some issues with it like flickering at night. I'm not a fan of the Surefire pressure pads. Other than that, I like running an at PLC, the Civilian PEC 15. That seems to work pretty well for me. I have a Steiner IR laser illuminator combo, and yeah, I would say I'm still a beginner with night vision, but I do really like setting them up, and I've done some videos on my setups too. So thank you for sharing those, Ian. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, next up we have a couple here from Zach. I like the camo on this first one. So going through the list, it's got an American Defense Manufacturing lower with a Rise armament trigger, a JP silent capture spring system, a Mission First minimalist stock, a Radiant Ambi safety. It's got a PSA upper and handguard and bolt. It's got a 16-inch BA Hansen 223 Wild Barrel, a Savvy sniper sling, an Athlon 2-12 first focal plane scope, Area 419 Arco Rail and Atlas Cal bipod. It's got a Griffin HRT 556 suppressor, a Magpul K2 Plus grip, and this is one of my Coyote guns, have doped to 650 yards. Nice. Yeah, it looks like a really sweet setup. I recently got one of those HRT 556 suppressors myself, and so far I really like it. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Zach. And then we do have another one here. So this next one is a BRN 180 Gen 1. It's on a Palmetto State Armory lower. It's got a Magpul K2 Plus grip, an SP Tactical brace, a Savvy sniper sling, a Geisley trigger, a Radiant safety, a Surefire M600 with a Modlite OKW head and mod button. It's got the HRT 556 suppressor, the EOTech EXPS 3-0, a Hot Pocket rail cover, and then camo spray paint by me. Nice. Yeah, the paint job on both of those guns look good, and I like the setup. I want to do one of these BRN 180s. I don't even think I've shot one yet. I've shot the original Armalite AR 180, but these look sick. So thank you for sharing both of those, Zach. All right, this next one comes from Troy. This is one of my 8 builds. This is my modern/retro build. It's a Noveske 14.5-inch Afghan barrel with a Surefire A2 flash hider and a blast warden. It's got the Streamlight ProTac HLX on a warm fuzzy FSP mount. It's got the Lunar Concepts Hot Pocket, an Arisaka finger stop, a Midwest rail with the FSP cutout, which looks amazing, BCM upper receiver, and an Aero Clone M4 lower, Black Canyon Systems UID. It's got the Brownells nickel boron bolt, the Geisley SAE trigger, a B5 stock, grip, and trigger guard. It's got a Radiant charging handle, and last is the Primary Arms 5X Prism with a Holosun 509T piggyback. It says Weapon Outfitters Cram 9.0 mount, much needed, and a mount for the 509T I can't remember of the life of me. No worries. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like the setup you got there, and then he also has a picture. It's a little blurry on my end, but of his other rifle setups. So looking down the list there, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, I like what you got going there. So yeah, thank you for sharing those, Troy. They look great. All right, this next one comes from Matt, and he says, Matt from Brass and Beard. I'm not sure if that's a YouTube channel, but go check it out. I'm going to go through what he said. So this is my true SPR build. It is a Diamondback DB15 combo set that came with a 300 blackout upper receiver on the top. I put a Proof Research 6-arc barrel with a JP Enterprises old carrier group Noveske gas tube, or Noveske after that. It says Noveske gas tube, Geisley Mark 16, I think, 15-inch handrail, and the airborne charging handle. Some of it I don't understand exactly how you have it worded here. It says Wit Tool SME sound mitigation equipment muzzle brake. Below is the Diamondback DB15 with a Geisley Cold Hammer Forge chrome line barrel, gas block, airborne charging handle, buffer tube, Super 48 buffer spring, Mark 16 handguard, and SSAE trigger, Noveske gas tube, BCM bolt carrier group, an Edgar Sherman sling with paracord. It's got the Q sling devil, a Daniel Defense furniture set, a Surefire War Comp, suppressor adapter, and suppressor is still waiting in jail. Nice. The rifle and the other upper look really good, so thank you for sharing those, Matt. Next up, we have a couple here from Axel, and these are both strictly for training youth classes. Well, it looks nice. So it looks like we got a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. It's got a Mini Scout weapon-mounted light, a BCM hand stop, a JPEG 15 replica, a Unity mount, a Vortex Crossfire red dot, a BCM grip, and a Magpul CTR stock. That looks like a pretty sweet 22. I've always wanted to get one of these for myself. I just haven't jumped on one yet, but they look like a lot of fun. And then next up, we have a Walther P22 target. It's got Talon grips, a mag extender, and a tandem cross recoil spring and rod. Those look fun too. I think I've shot one of those, but it's been years. But yeah, 22 handguns and rifles are just a blast to shoot. So yeah, thank you for sharing those, Axel, and that's cool that you use them for training classes. This next one comes from Matthew again. This was my first complete build from scratch. It is a Sequence Precision IR-MT3 upper receiver in a Sequence Precision 223 Wild 18-inch match barrel with the Sequence ATAC compensator, their SPR3 rail, a Griffin Armament gas redirecting charging handle, a rifle speed adjustable gas block, a Noveske bolt carrier group, Griffin Armament ambidextrous Mark II lower receiver. It's got a Geisley SSAE trigger, a Geisley buffer tube, a Super 42 spring and buffer system, a B5 CPS stock, an Accutac bipod, an Arkin EP5 5 to 25 by 56 scope, and a Mark AR 34mm cantilever mount. Nice. That looks good. Thank you for sharing that one, Matthew. Alright guys, this next one comes from Fred, and this is his 14.5-inch SPR. I'm going to go through the list here. It's got a Battle Comp 1.5 muzzle brake, a UTG Recon 360 bipod. It's got a Surefire M640 dual fuel turbo light. It's got the Surefire SR07 rail mounted weapon switch, a Fortis Manufacturing Rev 2 13.8-inch free float rail. It's got the AT3 tactical foregrip, Magpul rail covers, a milled 80% lower receiver. It's got a Daniel Defense 14.5-inch mid-length upper, a BCM bolt carrier group. It's got the Night Force Attacker 1 to 8 by 24 first focal plane scope with the Tenebrex kill flash. It's got a Night Force Ultra mount, Troy Industries Battle Iron sights. It's got the Radian Raptor LT charging handle, a Geisley SSA 2-stage trigger, a Magpul bad lever, a Magpul MOE grip, and then a B5 system stop mod mil-spec stock. Nice. It looks really good. So thank you for sharing that one, Fred. I think it came out great. Alright, this next one comes from Colin. It looks like we got another SPR build in a cool, I would assume snow camo, but correct me if I'm wrong. So going through his list here, it's got a Surefire War Comp, a Shaw Custom fluted H-bar 1 and 8 twist 20-inch 6.5 Grendel barrel. It's got a Superlative Arms piston kit and bolt carrier. It's got a WMD Type 2 Grendel nickel boron X-bolt, and then the WMD nickel boron firing pin. It's got a POF roller cam, a Sharps Bros handguard. It's got the Sharps Bros upper receiver and lower receiver, a Devil Dog Concept side charger. It's got the Sig Sauer Sierra 3 BDX 6.5 to 20 by 52, an Aero Precision lightweight mount for it. It's got the Fab Defense furniture and bipod, a Phase 5 bad lever, a Trigger Tech 2-stage 3.5-pound non-adjustable trigger, a Trash Panda tactical buffer tube, an Odinworks adjustable buffer and carbine spring, and then rattle can by myself. Nice. Yeah, I like what you did there. I think it came out great, so thank you for sharing that one, Colin. Alright, next up we got a couple builds from Nicholas. So the first one is a Q Sugar Weasel chambered in 5.56. So it looks like a complete factory rifle. It's got a Trijicon ACOG on there. It's got the Surefire Scout Light with the Surefire pressure switch. It's got a Magpul angled foregrip, and then have Magpul irons and sling but not yet attached. Nice. Well, yeah, I like the Q products. In case you don't know, I mean, they're basically an upgraded AR out of the box. So you got their trigger, which is very light. Apparently it's literally the best trigger ever made. It's got the Radian safety selector and charging handle, and it's all in their finish. So, and then the Q Cherry Bomb is set up for their suppressor. But yeah, great gun. I'm looking to get a Sugar Weasel at some point, but right now I currently have the Honey Badger. So thank you for sharing that one, Nicholas. And then next up, we have an AK-9 here. So going through the list, it's a KUSA Cali 9. It's got the KUSA Core 2 red dot optic, a KP9 extended charging handle, a standard AK pistol grip, an Odin nightstick on a 45-degree light with pressure switch, and then it's got an Ultimac KP9 rail. Sweet. I think one of these would be cool suppressed. And as far as I can tell, that's the factory 16-inch barrel with the fake suppressor on there, because he didn't mention suppressor, but it looks good. So thank you for sharing that one too, Nicholas. All right, next up we have a couple builds here from Drew. So starting with the first one, this one is a 22 ARC Coyote gun. I've heard of 22 ARC, but I'm not familiar too much with that caliber, but I've heard good things. Going through the list here, it's got a Q Thunder Chicken suppressor with the Cherry Bomb muzzle device. It's a 22-inch carbon 6 carbon fiber 22 ARC barrel. It's got the Suppurative Arms adjustable gas block, a PRI Mark 12 style handguard that is spray painted. It's got an Aero Precision upper and lower, an Arkin SH 4-16 with the Arkin mount. It's got the Suppurative Arms FDE bolt carrier group, a Rise Armament 2-stage trigger, a die-free Co grip, and then a B5 precision stock. Nice. The camo job you did on there looks great. Alright, going to his next one here. This one is an SPR build. So it's a PWS Mark 116 Mod 2M chambered in 223 Wild. Going through the list, it's got the Q Thunder Chicken suppressor. It's got a Streamlight Pro Tac light with their pressure pad, a Magpul bipod, flip up front sight, can't remember the brand. I can't tell from my angle. It's got a B5 forward grip, a Sig Sauer MSR 1-8 with the Sig mount. It's got an Aimpoint Acro P2 red dot on top. It's got the Rise Armament single stage trigger, a die-free Co grip, a Magpul stock, and a Magpul sling. Nice. Yeah, those PWS guns are sweet, and they're piston driven, long stroke piston driven, in case you guys didn't know. So yeah, thank you for sharing both of those, Drew. Alright, this next one comes from Eric, and I'm going to go through his list here. So it looks like we got a Radical Firearms RF-15 as the base, but it's no longer a Radical firearm, if that makes sense. It's got a Silencer Co Velos LBP 762 can with the muzzle brake. It's got an 18-inch barrel, currently changing to a 20-inch fluted barrel chambered in 223 Wild. It's got an Arkin EPL 4 6-24. It's got a Geisley SSAEX precision trigger, a Magpul UBR Gen 2 collapsible stock, an LWRC DI bolt carrier group. It's also got a Magpul bipod, and then it's got a Magpul bad lever. Nice, and then the spray paint job on there looks good too. It's been cool seeing the decked out Radical firearms in this viewer build. Not that I'm knocking them, it's just you guys are putting some really high quality parts in there. So yeah, that's a great build. Thank you for sharing that one, Eric. Alright, this next one comes from Alvin, and this is his Gucci Geisley. Nice, I like the color scheme. So going through the list, it's a 13.9-inch pin and welded Geisley Super Duty Mod 1. It's got the Huxworks flash hider. It's got the Yankee Hill Turbo T3 suppressor, a Modlite 18650 with the 100 Concepts rugged light cap. It's also got the Unity gas cap, an Arasaka inline mount, and then a Unity Axon SL link switch. It's crazy how fancy you can get with lights nowadays. Like, it's cool. Some of the light setups just almost cost as much as a gun, so it's kind of crazy to think that's how far we've come with these. It's also got the Railscales Carve P hand stop, the G10 rail covers, and an RSBM P vertical foregrip. It's got the Primary Arms SLX 1-6 Nova reticle, second focal plane. It's got a 100 Concept Scope Cap Pro, a Reptilia AUS mount, and then a Blue Force Gear Vickers sling. Nice. And then the nice thing with Geisleys is they also come with their nice rails, their triggers. I think that's still their pistol grip, but then it looks like a B5 stock. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Alvin. It came out great. All right, next up we have a few from Charlie here, and this first one's pretty cool. So it's a Fight Light SCR. It's got a 16-inch stainless steel bull barrel, Not sure the brand or twist rate because it was a substitution for my first rifle build kit because I ordered it at the beginning of the pandemic and they ran out of barrels. Don't you remember the pandemic with gun parts? It's crazy. It's got an Odinworks 15.5-inch O2 light M-Lock handguard, a UTG Recon Flex 2 bipod. It's got the Wooks M-Lock rail covers. The upper is an Anderson Spirit I had lying on the shelf. It's got a Strike Industries poly dust cover, a Strike polished forward assist and matching takedown pins, an Odinworks XMR3 mag release. It's got the Tacticon Apex Falcon 1-4 first focal plane LPVO, and it's sitting on a Monstrum Ultra Series low profile mount. It's got the Strike Industries 2-point sling, and yeah, that wraps it up for that one. It kind of looks like a Star Wars gun to me, but it looks cool. It's very unique, and I'm curious how that one shoots. The next up is a Colt SP1 pre-band lower with the rare Bushmaster XM15 E2S Commando upper. Swapped the furniture for the B5 Car 15 stock, grip, and handguard, and the M7 bayonet is from my A1 build. Nice, that one looks good too. And then now we're going to go through his last build here. So it's got a BCM Mark II 16-inch complete upper, a Tacticon Battle Torch V3 flashlight, a Lunar Concepts Hot Pocket in M81 Woodland, a B5 foregrip in M81, the BCM bolt carrier group, a BCM Asymmetric Mark II medium charging handle, a Tacticon Apex Predator V3 solar multi-reticle red dot, a BCM Mark II recoil mitigation system, a Mod 1 receiver extension, a T1 buffer and spring. It's got the B5 enhanced stop mod stock in M81, a LaRue MBT2S trigger, a B5 M81 grip, and then a Shepherd Defense Mars M81 2-point quick adjust sling. I like the M81 camo on there, that looks great. And yeah, all your guns look sick. Thank you for sharing those, Charlie. Alright, this next one comes from, I feel bad if I butcher your name, I believe it's Rithi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Going through the list here, it's got a birdcage flash hider, a Troy Industry fixed sight, an Olight Odin weapon light, a Leapers UTG Pro Super Slim free float handguard, a BCM vertical grip. It's got the Vortex Crossfire red dot on there. It's got the Troy backup flip up sight, a Mega upper, lower, and trigger. It's got the Magpul trigger guard, a Magpul K2 grip, a Rainier Arms nickel boron bolt carrier group, a Rainier Arms charging handle. It's got an ambi safety, bolt release, and mag release. It's got the Law Tactical folding adapter, it's the Gen 3, a Knights Armament QD receiver end plate kit, a Magpul CTR stock with a LaRue tactical riser. It's got an Aero Precision mid-length gas tube. It's got an Aero mid-length 16-inch 5.56 barrel, and then a Rainier Arms low-profile gas block. Nice, that looks like a good build. Thank you for sharing that one, and again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Alright, this next one comes from Joey. Here's my go-to rifle. I shoot this more than any of my other rifles in my collection. I make it to the range roughly 1 to 2 times a week and try to make it to a class every other month or so. Nice, that's always good. The upper is a 14.5-inch BCM enhanced lightweight Mark II. It's got the Cold Hammer Forged barrel, a Cloud Defensive Rain 3 micro light on there. It's got the 100 Concepts light cap, a Unity fast riser with an EOTech XPS2. It's got a Geisley charging handle, the factory BCM bolt carrier group, an Emissary Development handbrake mini. It's got the Yankee Hill Phantom QD muzzle brake, currently waiting for a turbo K suppressor. It's got a BCM Mark II buffer system with the T2 buffer, a Magpul MOE SL stock, an Aero Precision M4E1 lower, a Geisley lower parts kit. It's got the Geisley Maritime bolt catch, a Magpul K2 grip, an Aero Precision Pro ambi safety, the Geisley ST3 gun trigger, an Edgar Sherman designed sling on a Magpul QD sling swivels. And then after putting a few carbines together, I landed on this one being the most versatile for me. She shoots super soft and predictable, and I'm interested to see what the suppressor will feel like when combined with the buffer system I'm running now. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a really nice gun, and then running like H2 style buffers suppressed, that's generally what I use, so I'm sure it's going to shoot great. But yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Joey. I like it. All right, we got a few here from Daniel. He also has an Instagram. It's _guns and gear. So the first one, we have a complete BCM 14.5 inch with a pin and welded muzzle device. It's got the MCMR 13 handguard and then all stock internals. He's running the BCM gunfighter grip and rail panels. It's got the Cloud Defensive Rain 3 with the Ranger wrap. It's got the Holosun Iris 3. It's green vis using a mod button on an HRF Concepts ramp mount. It's got M-Bus Pro offset iron sights, an EOTech EXPS 3.0 and a G33 magnifier, and then a Sentry Strap sling retainer. Nice. And then yeah, everything else is BCM, so charging handle, all the furniture on the back end, but yeah, that looks great. On his next one here, the base is a Glock 19. It's got an SLR magwell, rubber Talon grips, a Streamlight TLR7X, a HiveTech extended mag release, a Glock extended slide release, a Zafiri Precision ZPS5 slide and ported barrel, Glock night sights, and a Holosun 508T. That one looks good. And then lastly, we have a CZ P01. It's got the Cajun Gunworks Pro Trigger package, a Streamlight TLR7A, a Dawson Precision fiber sight with blacked out rear, a Holosun EPS carry, slide was cut by Angel City Armory, and then it's got the KSD wood grips. Yeah, that one looks good too, and your pictures came out really good. Thank you for sharing those. All right, this next one comes from Ed. He has a YouTube channel. It's called AZ Cactus Tack, so go check him out. Before I even read this thing reminds me of Lord of War, if you've ever watched that movie, but I'm going to read what he said here. So, a recent addition to the collection is a kit build that was recently completed for me. It is a 1965 Russian Izvest, aka Izzy, probably butchered the first part. It has 9 matching original parts, all the furniture, trigger, trunnion, gas tube, pistol grip, cleaning rod, safety, sight block, bolt, and piston. And I went with a Childers US-made receiver. That's as close to clone correct as I can get within budget. The barrel is Bulgarian. The magazine is a 1950s era Russian slab side. The buttstock cover and sling is from Davnarov, who combines high fashion and AKs only in New York. Nice. I went with a local builder here in AZ. It is from SOF Defense, aka Mario, to do the build for me. Completes another portion of my Cold War era collection, and looking forward to getting this thing out to the range soon. Nice. Yeah, that furniture, like the sling and the stock pad or cover, that looks really cool on there. And then that mag looks pretty crazy. I've never seen that mag before. But yeah, that's a cool AK. So thank you for sharing, Ed. And again, go check out his YouTube channel, AZ Cactus Tack. All right, this next one comes from P, and it looks like we have a Ruger American Ranch Gen 1 chambered in 5.56. It's got a 16.1 inch barrel, it's bolt action, and takes AR-15 mags. That's cool. So going through the list here, it says Boyd's Hardwood Gun Stocks. It's the Pro Varmint gun stock shape in nutmeg laminate finish. Nice. It's got a Silencerco Scythe TI suppressor. It's on a direct thread adapter. It's got a random Picatinny rail piece cut to fit, and it's bolted to the stock. It's got a Magpul bipod on there. It's got the Monstrum 90-degree offset Picatinny QD mount. It's got a Riton 3 Conquer 6-24x50 rifle scope. It's a first focal plane red illumination. It's got Leopold scope rings, a Trijicon RMR scope mount. It's got the Trijicon SRO red dot. It's a 5 MOA. A Magpul RSA QD sling mount. An Anarchy Outdoors bolt handle, plus the Area 419 competition style bolt handle knob. It's got a Timney trigger, a Blue Force Gear UDC padded bungee sling. It's got a Magpul MS1 QD 1-2 point sling adapter, a Sig Sauer heavy duty push button sling swivel, a Neomag Sentry strap in Ranger green, and then a GroveTech Woodstock QD base. Nice. It's a pretty decked out Ruger bolt action there, but it looks nice and I bet it shoots great too. Thank you for sharing that one, P. Alright, this next one comes from Trayvon, and going through their list here, it's got a Reardon flash hider, a PRI Douglas 18-inch SPR barrel, a Geisley Mark 8 handguard, a Harris BRM bipod, an Athlon Ares 3-18 scope. It's got an Arrow upper and lower receiver, a Radian Talon safety selector, a Norgon Ambi mag release, a Geisley Maritime bolt release, a B5 grip, a Magpul ACS stock, and LBX sling. Also, any 5.56 suppressor recommendations would be appreciated. All right, let me think. I mean, if you're going that route, I know Reardon makes good suppressors. I would recommend my buddy Chris Blau from 1911 Syndicate. I know he's working with Reardon right now. I don't have any personal experience with them as of yet, but I'd like to try their stuff. Other than that, I mean, I've been running my Griffin a lot recently. I like the Griffin HRT 5.56 for a DMR gun like this. Even like an Otter Creek would be pretty cool. So yeah, but there's going to be so many great recommendations in the comments too, I bet. So thank you for sharing that one, Trayvon. All right, this next one comes from Blair, and we have an Arsenal SAM-7K. It looks sweet. It's got a Dead Air Wolverine suppressor, an Ultimac gas tube, a Surefire Scout on a Haley Strategic 45-degree offset mount, a chopped BCM grip bolted on to the factory handguard. It's got a Trijicon MRO, an Arsenal SM22 AK scope mount. It's got the 20-round mag, a Bone Steel Arms Galil style folder with a 30-round mag strapped to it. Can't really see it from this angle, but I'll take your word for it. It's got the Wells Made Company splatter sling, and then an extended charging handle of unknown origin. Nice, it looks good. I like your camo tape on there too. I bet that with some subsonic ammo would be pretty sweet to shoot. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Blair. It looks cool. Alright, this next one comes from Virgil, and I did a double take when I first opened this up. It looks like a Q, but we do not have a Q here. So this is called the Kaboom Box. That's a great name if you came up with it. Going through the list, it's got the Q Cherry Bomb XL. The barrel is a Ballistic Advantage 8-inch 8.6 blackout DRP. It's got a superlative adjustable gas block. The handguard is an MCS 7-inch M-LOK handguard. The optic is a Primary Arms SLX Gen 4. It's got the Primary Arms PLX mount. The upper and lower are Aero Precision M5 in clear anodized. The upper and lower parts are WMD nickel boron. It's got a Magpul PMag spray painted with alumahide. The trigger is the Q Sugar Weasel trigger. It's got a Reptilia QCGL grip. It's got a Creative Arms ACH charging handle. The brace is a Q logoed SB3 with the Q clear anodized buffer tube. And then it's got a Gap Monkey purple haze sling. And then waiting from the ATF is a Q pork chop suppressor and then a Q shorty stock. Nice. Yeah, that thing is sweet. I got to shoot 8.6 for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I'm sold on it. I want to get one really bad. But yeah, that's kind of a cool like Q inspired build, because in case you guys don't know, they have a boom box that's like the 8.6 Honey Badger, and this one's called the Kaboom Box. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Virgil. That looks awesome. All right, guys, we are finishing it off with Shane's SBR Sig Rattler LT here. So going through the list, it's got the Surefire SPS 300 suppressor. I really want one of these myself. It's got the Surefire 3-prong flash hider, a B5 foregrip, a Surefire Scout light, the Unity mod button. It's got the Strike Industries dust cover, a Radian safety selector. It's got the B5 grip with plug to store gummy bears. Nice. It's got the Magpul 300 blackout magazine, a Magpul sling, the Sig Spear LT stock, the Sig Spear LT charging handle. It is the bigger version than the stock charging handle. It's got a Unity riser with a flip to center, and then it's got an EOTech EXPS2 with the G33 magnifier. Nice. Yeah, the Sig Rattler is an awesome gun. So thank you for sharing that one, Shane, and thank you to everyone else that submitted. This was a great week of viewer builds. Thank you guys again for watching. I hope you enjoyed these 2 days of viewer builds of any gun. We got a lot of ARs obviously, but it's still cool. I like seeing the AR builds. I like seeing all the other stuff that we got to see, and other than that, I like doing this every single week. So again, if you want to participate in next week's theme, the theme is PCCs or subguns. Describe it from tip to butt. Send the picture to my email. It is sales@atroxco.com, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.